When we built our original floor desk setups, floor to standing desks were just a fantasy. Fast forward to today, if you're looking to get one, then after watching this video, you'll have another problem: choices. Because the floor desk is one more option you should keep in consideration. Marinamantra reached out to us and they have also sponsored this video so that we can introduce the new desk to you. But as usual, we'll be sharing our genuine experience, and spoiler alert, our experience has been positive. But first, let's find some space to set this thing up. Whenever HL and I work in the same room, we'll always find ways to distract each other. So I would usually get some of my work done in the living room. What we're going to do is we'll set up the floor desk in this corner of our living room as a secondary workspace. And this will be my home for the next couple of weeks. At first glance, it's easy to mistake this as just a simple X-frame mechanism, sort of like a motorized ironing board, which had been done on other adjustable desks. But with a regular X-frame, the base gets narrower the higher it goes, which theoretically means it becomes less stable. And another thing we thought might drive us nuts is that depending on chance, the desk could drift to either side when changing heights. Initially, we thought the floor desk was just another X-frame, so we weren't particularly thrilled. But then we paid closer attention and realized that this was something different. Its feet stay in position where the desk goes up and down. This means it retains a wide base even as it goes higher. And most importantly, there's no drifting whatsoever. Nice. And then usually after setting up a desk for the first time, you would have the dreadful, time-wasting task of cable management. But if you would take a look at this, while I would love to take credit for this immaculate cable management job, the truth is I didn't do anything. The floor desk comes with these felt covers that you put on to hide the cables. There's a cutout for where your legs go, and there's even a rear cable tray for additional organization. Even after tidying up the cables, there's still one cable you can't hide. You always have to account for the cable that powers the desk so that it can move up and down freely. But the floor desk has an integrated system where the power and cables run inside of the legs, with the plug-in point at the bottom. So no dangling cables, no need to worry about not leaving enough slack for this cable, or that it might snag onto objects when moving up or down. You can see why, after just setting up the desk, we are already impressed with the various thoughtful design elements and quality of life improvements. But it's time to get to actually using the desk. The floor desk is able to go as low as 37 centimeters, the lowest we've had the experience of trying so far. At this height, we are getting into usable territory when sitting directly on the floor. If you're on the shorter side, then it may not be the best idea. But as long as you have something like a yoga block, then this should work for most people. At this height, not much side-to-side wobble and a very small amount of front-to-back wobble. Height adjustment is done with the touch-sensitive panel integrated into the top of the desk. Moving from the lowest to highest setting took about 36 seconds. On paper, we notice this is a touch slower than regular height-adjustable desks, as these legs have to move horizontally to push the desk up and down vertically. So some speed is lost there. However, in practice, we never really felt bothered by that few seconds of difference. At its tallest, the desk measures about 119 centimeters. I am not 6 feet tall, but if I were, the desk should still be able to accommodate. At this height, lateral stability is still very good, but as to be expected, you'll notice more front-to-back wobble, although it remains very acceptable. We would have liked to see micro adjustments available on the desk feet, for example, to account for when there's unevenness in the floor surface. We feel like that could improve the stability even more. We've tested the desk with our laptop for a while now, and it's quite clear that this is not the most ergonomic arrangement. But Marinamantra has taken that into consideration, so we're going to set up their bunk table accessory, and then we'll put the desk through a more extensive test. Here are our thoughts after using the desk for a couple of weeks. It's actually our first time using a monitor riser or bunk table, and it definitely puts the laptop screen at a more appropriate height. I also like how convenient it is to be able to quickly slide the desk mat under it to make space for other things. Throughout our test, we tried sitting in a bunch of different ways. We noticed that when the desk is low, the frame can get in our legs way a little when we are switching between positions. Over time, we got used to it and became aware enough to avoid it. This is just a minor inconvenience for us as we no longer sit in positions where we frequently want to stretch our legs out in front of us. But it could be an important consideration for you if you like to lean back and stretch your legs at your desk. That's just the unfortunate reality of this sort of X-frame design. Next, we have to talk about noise levels. It was surprising how quiet the motor is on this desk. When there's background noise like when our fans are running and there are cars going by outside, we can barely hear the desk when it's moving, and that's very impressive. However, on our unit, there is a small squeak for a split second whenever the desk starts moving off, a bit like a creaky cabinet door. We believe this is an anomaly, perhaps uneven lubrication, as it did get a bit better with time and use. The touch panel for me has been a bit of a love-hate relationship. In the first couple of days, while I'm still familiarizing myself with the desk, I accidentally activated the touch controls a number of times. Thankfully, it's just as quick and easy to stop right away and get it back to the height that I want. Touch controls look sleek and more integrated with the desk, and once I got used to it, they are fast and convenient. Still, they are more accident prone, so I just learned to develop a certain mindfulness about not accidentally touching this corner of the desk. I think with just a few tweaks, marinamantra could really improve the user experience and prevent accidental touches. There are a few more quality of life inclusions that we didn't mention. For example, there are 2 built-in power outlets, one in the rear cable tray and another at the front. These are of course very convenient features, and we hope that when marinamantra eventually sells these desks outside of the US, they will come with region-specific power outlets so we don't have to use adapters anymore. All in all, we think this is a really unique desk. It looks unique and it functions uniquely as well. Many standing desks can look and feel industrial, if you get what I mean, whereas this feels warm, refined, and dare I say, designer-ish. The Flow desk impressed us from the moment we set it up and continued to impress during our extended test. It functions as well as we would expect from a standing desk, but it's the many small, thoughtful design elements that left the strongest impression. If you're thinking about getting a floor-to-standing desk, definitely keep this in consideration. An X-frame style desk has its pros and cons compared to a more conventional one, but if that's not a deal breaker for you, the marinamantra Flow desk is an easy one to recommend. If you're interested, you can use our link and discount code down below to save some money on your order, and that helps to support our channel as well. There's also a written version of our review, which we'll continue to update with more details about our long-term experience. If you have any questions, don't be shy about asking them in the comments and we'll do our best to answer them. See you in the next one.